Hello, my name is Michael Arenstam. I have a doctorate in education administration, and I have been given the gift of bipolar, among other things. They've asked me to talk for just a moment on mental illness and recovery. I would like to emphasize that I am a person with bipolar. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a human being that's lived with it. And I would like to share a little bit of my experience. First off, in the last couple of years, they really have changed the meaning of mental illness. When I say they, I'm talking, of course, about the federal government. They used to have severe mental illness, severe and persistent mental illness, serious mental illness, and now any mental illness which is defined as a diagnosis that exists in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of the American Psychiatric Association. Any one of those is a mental illness. There are 390 of them. There's no way that you can talk about them all at the same time, any more than you can say people, and we're all people. But there's huge differences between people. And so when you want to deal with them, I think you have to consider their individual aspects. Recovery is interesting also to me. I've only learned the term in the last year and a half. And what I've learned is that I've been recovered ever since my first hospitalization for bipolar. And that is, nobody told me that I couldn't. I merely said, I'm going to, and went back to my occupation, which was teaching, and I taught for 8 years without any serious problems. But finally, the pressure of preparing and dealing with individuals within the school system, such as the guidance counselors, I exploded. And I like kids. I also like to teach. But I don't have the right to do that if I have a chance of hurting them. We need to remember that when you deal with other human beings, you should look to protect them, not use them, and not harm them. Now there are two systems of recovery that I hear about. One is Mary Ellen Copeland's WRAP program, Wellness Action Recovery Program. I learned about this several years ago, and mostly I have used it to reduce my symptomology so that I could do more of what I wanted to do at the time. I haven't been 100% successful. I had to give up teaching full-time, but I can teach part-time. And I do. This is part of that. So you are helping with my recovery. I want to thank you. Most of the information I have, and I think a large part of my attitude toward it, comes from being a facilitator of a depression and bipolar support group for over 14 years. Interacting with other people gives you an opportunity to hear yourself and to test your ideas. And that's very important. I don't think we understand fully how much of our recovery and even our existence depends on the effort we put into it. When we visit doctors, we'd like to get respect. And we'd like to get a guarantee that what they're doing will not cause any harm and will take care of everything for us. Of course, there is no magic bullet. And the doctor only knows either what they can see in front of them or what we can tell them. I think we have an obligation to give them information about ourselves in a way in which it meshes with how they use it. So we have to learn how to do that. That takes effort. We have to develop a sort of a trust, because any treatment is an interaction between the treater and the person receiving the treatment. I've got a lot of other ailments, and we forget sometimes, you say you have bipolar disorder, that's a disaster, so you really don't have anything else to worry about. Well, I have close to 11 specialists that I see on a regular basis. And most of them I have learned to trust. Some of them, one of them in particular, I had no choice. I recently had a bypass operation where I allowed the doctor to stop my heart and my breathing for a period of an hour or so. I encouraged him to bring me back before I went under the operation, and he did. But it took trust. Now, I could have refused, and we can refuse treatment anytime we really want to. However, after studying the situation, I knew that sometime down the road, I would have a serious heart attack, and they would either have to do that under emergency conditions, or I would die. I didn't really like either of those choices, so I trusted the doctor, and have bounced back very nicely, with a little inconvenience, of course, but still, life is what we hope for. And life means doing something. Sometimes I think we have hopes and dreams that we think is life. I'm not really sure that's true. Life is always in the present tense. Indeed, eternity has already started for us. Hope is obscured by today's need. Hearts meet reality. Hope becomes visible. Knowledge confirms hope. Belief releases tomorrow. Freedom of error surrounds personal safety. Tomorrow's goal is not life. Now is all we have, even beyond sight. Hope awaits acceptance. Being demands it. Touching life frees us to be. to be a participant in the most wonderful thing about life. Us. Thank you.